All right, can everyone hear me? A lot of you are muted, so you could just respond in the chat. Let me turn on. I'm gonna turn off push to talk real quick. Okay, that should be better. All right, where's my notes? Here we go. All right, so just starting off. First things first, this is the first meeting, so it might be a little rocky. So we'll definitely have meetings probably every week or every 2 weeks. And so from here on out, it should be a little more streamlined. But yeah, we are a new corporation. We just started up four or 5 weeks ago. And so everything up to this point has just been accumulating wealth and dispersing it to our members, being like the Corp buyback program for ore and minerals. But yeah, starting with the buyback system, right now, if you've noticed, if you look in the hangars, we have 3 to 5 billion ISK worth of minerals, PI, and things like that in the hangars. Because right now the plan is just to hold everything as long as we can, because here in 2 or 3 weeks, when T8 unlocks, I promise you every mineral in this game outside of maybe like titanium is going to go up in price. So I've been holding off selling anything, whether it's to other corporations, whether it's to members, whether it's to... holding it off to members has another issue involved that I'm going to bring up here in a bit. But basically, we're just holding things right now because all these other corporations out here and other corporations, established corporations in this game, have been around since like week 1, week 2 of the game. And so we're playing catch up right now with the corporation wealth. And the whole purpose for doing that is sovereignty, where you actually can claim space in this game, is going to come out here in, I think, December. And so everything up to this point is just saving up, building up our corporation wealth so that when sovereignty comes out, we'll be in a good place money-wise to be able to set up our player stations and claim a section of space. Now, obviously, Fountain is pretty jam-packed right now with different corporations, since Terran Federation makes up about 40 corporations in Terran Federation, and then a bunch of other allies. So that's the whole goal right now, is basically just saving wealth, and that's what we've been doing. Now for the short-term goals for the corporation, what I was just saying pretty much is the price spike and things like Noxium, Zydrine, and Megasite, with bubbles coming out here on October 31st with this new event going on. Those getting all that Noxium, Zydrine, and Megasite that you can really only find in bulk down here deep in nullsec in the negative security systems. I've been slowly moving up all of our excess after we've reprocessed it back up to either Valery or just high sec trade hubs, getting ready to be able to sell some of it when all the prices spike here in like 2 or 3 weeks. So even outside of the Corp hangars, I have a lot of stuff just ready and waiting in the trade hubs, because one thing with all the ore that we've been doing with the buyback program is it's heavily down here when everyone's depositing like Bistot, Crokite, and all those other ores. They have a lot of the higher tier minerals, and we just have too much that we would never even possibly use in our manufacturing. So that's how we're going to make the biggest impact in our Corp wallet. So moving forward, we can set up all those player-owned stations and really hit sovereignty the right way. Let's see. Yep. So the goal of all this to establish the corporation bank, so that way we can really get our PvP ships and all that supply ready to go. Now, the problem with, actually, I want to say problem. Well, I'll just go. So for PvP, getting a little off subject here. I'm very good at ranting. If you don't know, I stream this game, and so I'll sit here for 6 hours at a time just talking. So I'm trying to make sure I keep it concise down to 30 minutes. But yeah, we'll go on to our PvP short term. So that's our economic short term for the corporation. PvP short term. We are building up our PvP fleets to help TF in their call to actions. So the call to actions, basically, if you haven't joined the TF server yet, make sure you do. You can find it in the Alliance info. Go there, send me a message, and I'll get you send me a message once you're in the TF Discord, and I'll approve you so you can see all the stuff going on there. But basically, every couple of days, sometimes every day, depending on how much action's going on, there'll be call to actions that they expect us, now that we're in TF, to attend. They have their own fleet commanders and things like that, so you can just join up with other corporations in TF. You can join up with them, and that's why we're making a bunch of Vexers right now. Vexers is their main ship they're using. It was Stabbers before this, but now it's Vexers. And the reason for just mostly using one type of ship is these call to actions are 100 on 100 versus 100 battles, if not more a lot of the times. And so they become very laggy. And so all the tactical stuff with like frigates and smaller ships and things like that really don't do any good because they just get picked off right away because the lag is just too much. So basically the way it works is they're going to have like 5 to 10 fleets of 10 people, and everyone's going to be in pretty much the same type of ship with some of the, what are the other ships that give buffs and everything. Someone can type it in chat. The logistics there, the logi ships, the ones that can provide defensive stuff and offensive bonuses. They'll sprinkle them in as well, but otherwise everyone uses the same type of ships. That way you can snipe people away from far away, and it's a way to counter the lag because they haven't implemented the time dilation yet. Anyone that's familiar with EVE Online, what they're going to be implementing into the game for these big battles is time dilation, so everything kind of slows down, and you're basically playing in slow motion so the servers can keep up. And once that happens, then we can start incorporating smaller little things. But in the meantime, the call to actions are basically just everyone's in the same type of ship. Right now it's Vexers, so we're stocking up on Vexers and all the attachments needed for that. You can find the pinned post down in the PvP section of the Discord. So if you want to be involved in that, which I highly recommend, even if you don't have all the skill points for it, you can still show up, and it looks good for our corporation. That will give us more leverage here in the near future when we're asking for anomaly space to run PvE anomalies in, and then when sovereignty comes out, we might not stick to Fountain. TF is expanding. Right now, they're fighting people down in Delve, so all the action's happening from the south. It's the Goon Federation or Goon Swarm, the Happy Bees Alliance. They're trying to take over Delve, and basically TF is trying to keep the fight down in Delve, so we're not actually having to fight that battle in Fountain. So that's why Fountain's pretty quiet most of the times outside of some roaming fleets that come in or solo gankers. But the big battles are still happening down in Delve. Now, they're also looking to push up into Outer Ring and Cloud Ring. And so that's probably, when Sovereignty comes out, that's probably the move we're going to make. I mean, this is definitely open for discussion with everyone. But right now, Fountain, as you can tell, is super jam-packed with so many corporations with TF. So when Sovereignty does come out here in 2 months or so, the long-term goal at that point will probably be to set ourselves up somewhere more north than Fountain or in the Cloud Ring or Outer Ring area. But it's all open to discussion. Who knows how long this TF stuff's going to last and things like that. But in the meantime, TF is a great spot for us because we're able to get all these high-tier ores, minerals, anomalies, things like that, and just have protection all around us. Especially since, like I said in the beginning, we are a new corporation compared to a lot of these other corporations out here that have been here since week 1. Then, still on short-term PvP, we need to start doing some more roaming PvP fleets. I know Yuki, Raz, and Arteezy, Vindro, those guys have been doing a lot of the PvP. There are other people too, but those are the guys that usually form up the small fleets and things like that. And so if we can start bringing stuff back towards like the Delve and Fountain area, that will help us be able to protect our guys better. And especially with the Halloween event starting here on the 31st, these Halloween event anomalies are going to be highly contested because that's where you're going to get all the new modules and things like that. And so we'll need our PvP guys protecting our PvE players so we can start making a a good amount of ISK for everyone with the loot drops from that. So we'll organize something with that. But here in 2 days with the Halloween events, we'll definitely need PvP protection for our PvE players that are running the anomalies. And honestly, the PvP players can be in there fighting with them. So yeah, you don't have to separate it between PvP and PvE, but we kind of need everyone together for this Halloween event because it's going to be a limited time thing. And that's where we're going to get a lot of these good drops like the bubbles and things like that. Self-sustaining. So still on short term. The one issue that we're facing right now with being self-sustaining is the fact that I said that for the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're looking to just hold on to everything we have because at that point, when T8 comes out, the market's going to spike again for all the sales and everything. And so self-sustaining's been a little bit rough right now with the buybacks because we haven't had much turnover. The only turnovers have really been into like retrievers and other mining ships, and here and there we'll sell some stuff just to keep the ISK flowing. But one thing that did happen yesterday is unfortunately, we had one corporation member who decided to quit the game. He just got burnt out, and he sent me, I was talking to him in private messages, but he just came and donated like 2.5 billion ISK to the corporation as he left, which bittersweet. We lost him, but he basically, yeah. Now with the buyback system, we're in a good spot. I wasn't expecting that at all. I actually thought it was a bug at first. That was just autopiloting through Fountain, and then all of a sudden, over 2 billion ISK showed up in the bank, and I just started withdrawing it all right away because I thought it was some type of bug, and I'm like, well, if they're going to take it away, at least I can put it in. But it turned out he messaged me like 30 minutes later and told me why he did it and that he was leaving. But yeah, so we're good on the buyback. So this self-sustaining portion, really, a lot of the notes that I wrote were before he did that. So the main concerns were just the fact that we didn't have enough turnover with manufacturing to sustain the buyback program for like the next week or two, because we are trying to hold on to everything. We definitely have the ISK. Like I said, we have 6 to 8 billion worth of minerals just sitting in our hangars, but I'm holding on to them because hopefully here in about 2 weeks when T8 comes out, that will turn into maybe like 12 to 14 billion. Yeah, Yuki, I know the devs would definitely take it out of my wallet, but that was my instant reaction. When I saw 2 billion ISK show up in the Corp wallet out of nowhere, I was just like, what is happening right now? But yeah, no, that was an awesome surprise, but unfortunately he quit. It was Colonel or CO Forbin. He was a new member too. He had only been in the corporation for like 2 days, but I think he watched like mine and Yuki Mora's stream and Raz's. So yeah, that's that. Now we'll go on to, where are we at? 13 minutes. All right, almost halfway through. Our short tour, more than halfway through. Probably got another 5 minutes of hearing me rant, and then we can open it up to everyone. Other short-term goals. We need to establish ourselves in Terran Federation as the go-to corporation for manufacturing. There's a couple other manufacturing corps in TF, and you'll see them posting a lot in the TF Discord. So make sure, as individual players or as a corporation, we're going to be making more efforts to reach out to all these corporations in the Discord, as well as our Discord. We have public channels that are open to everyone, but they're really only good for low and high sec trading, because a lot of the people that aren't members in our Discord are based somewhere else in New Eden. So selling stuff out of Fountain is not going to work for them. So if you have anything that you have up in like high sec or low sec, that's where the public channels are good for. Same with the official Discord. If you're not in that, there's a trade channel there. It can get a little, I wouldn't recommend that, but we can definitely get trade deals there too. We just had an order come in for 50 slasher 2s that we filled out. And while it wasn't much ISK, I mean, the slasher 2s are only about 1 million ISK each. So selling one retriever is actually more than selling 50 slasher 2s. But just the fact we can show these corporations that if they need, say they need like 20 Vexers after a big battle that happens, one of the CTAs, that we can fill that back up. And so if you are someone for corporation manufacturing, you need to at least be 5 basic, 5 advanced, 3 expert to make stuff for the corporation. You can make stuff yourself all you want, but for the corporation, when it comes to reprocessing and manufacturing, we're looking for 5 or or 554 at minimum. Now for our long term goals. Yeah, war definitely makes money. Even if we lose some ships, I promise you they'll be losing more ships. So yeah, war is profitable, and that's why we're down here in Fountain right now. The Corp long-term goals. Once again, be self-sustaining. That's why early on we definitely had too many. We were unbalanced, and we had too many people that were in the mining and manufacturing areas, which is good. That's what our Corp is founded on. But lately I've been trying to focus more on recruiting PvP and PvE players, because it's one thing I learned pretty quick was to be self-sustaining, you need to have your PvE players pulling in those bounties, and you need to have the PvP players to protect your guys as well as answer these CTAs, and just when sovereignty comes out, we'll need to be able to defend ourselves. And then another option for long-term goals is potentially opening up a second GEKS corporation. That can easily be done. We could do it right now, but I don't want to split our members until we hit the 190 cap. And we also have maybe about 20 to 25 alt characters and some inactive players that we can always kick as well. But I'd rather open up a second run-over corporation. That way, especially when sovereignty comes out here in two months or so in December, having two corporations will benefit us a lot. So that's something we're thinking about for long term, is opening up a second GEKS corporation. Sovereignty and player-made structures, establishing ourselves. I kind of already went over this in the beginning. We definitely don't have to stay in the Fountain. Right now, that's where the money's at, and that's where TF is. But they're looking to push more north into Cloud Ring and Outer Ring, and so that's probably where we're going to end up at some point. It's closer to the high sec, so it'd be easier for trading stuff and things like that outside of the alliance. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm still in talks with all the CEOs and leaders of TF, trying to get us established in a spot here in Fountain for our PvE players to do anomalies. Because right now you just have to read through the rules and learn how to claim different anomalies. But once we get our own area, there'll be a lot more. It'll be a lot more organized at that point. But until then, we just joined TF, 3 or 4 days ago? So this whole Fountain area is still a little bit of work in progress, going through like the diplomatic talks, because everyone's highly protective of their areas. But once we get enough backing, we can definitely get ourselves in somewhere, which will be soon. Probably this weekend we'll have a spot. Yeah, Yuki, I know you claimed that area way. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but that one area way down south there. I don't know if we want to move out there, because that's like 60, 70 jumps from high sec. But yeah, however you pronounce that. But yeah, there's plenty of places we can move to. Right now, like I said, we're in Fountain because I know a lot of the TF players. I got us into the Alliance because of that. I came from TF before I made GEKS Corp, so that's why we're here. But we can definitely have talks about moving to another place, getting ready for when sovereignty comes out. But probably the smartest move will be to stick somewhere close by TF, because that's where all of our allies are. Otherwise, we have to start everything from scratch again. And the last thing you want is to move into an area that you're unfamiliar with, and next thing you know, you have an alliance with a 200-person fleet showing up at your player-run station, and you got no one to help back you up. So we're trying to avoid that too. Corporation programs, buyback systems up and good. I need to get the PI running again, but so far no real issues with the buyback program outside of being able to sell the minerals and ore and things like that back to our members. Right now it's just a nightmare when it comes to the UI. I have to be at that location, I have to manually split everything, and I have to break it up in small stacks so when I transfer it doesn't get audited, because unfortunately audits hit even inside of corporation hangars. So anything that's over 25 million ISK, which is pretty much any buyback order, I have to split into smaller stacks just to move around. And so it's an inventory and UI nightmare right now. And so that's why we disabled buying back from the Corp temporarily until we find a better system for it. The other problem is permissions are basically all or nothing. Right now, I'm the only one with access to Hangar 1, and that's solely because there's no way to, in other games, you can limit it to, you can withdraw, say, 50 million ISK a day. And so at that point, that's fine. If someone were to just come through and take everything, they could only take up to 50 million ISK. And we can easily recover from that in like 2 buyback orders. But right now, the problem is permissions are all or nothing. So if for me to give out access so other members besides me can handle that stuff, I'd have to like divvy up the whole hangar system in a different way so that not everything's in one hangar. Because we've already had one of our guys on GEKS Council. I mean, he left peacefully, but he left out of nowhere, Solstius, if you remember him. And so I'm just trying to make sure that doesn't happen to us, because that's killed a lot of corporations already in this game, is just having one member decide he doesn't like how things are going or doesn't like how it's working for him in the game, or just sees 2 billion ISK sitting in a hangar and goes, oh, that's mine. And so right now, the permissions is the biggest issue, trying to figure out the best way for that. And so that's the only reason why I still have, I'm the only one with the corporation wallet and Hangar 1 access. But as soon as we can figure out a better, and I'm looking for input from you guys as well on this topic, the best way to divvy up permissions so that we limit that from happening. Because until the game implements a better way to do permissions, limiting the amount of withdrawals, things like that, there's no real way to fight it except for me putting a bunch of the excess stuff just into my personal hangar. But I want to avoid doing that because it becomes difficult to see what you have when stuff's hidden in your personal inventory, stuff's in the hangars, stuff's in hangar 2, 3, 1. So if I can put it all into one hangar, it's better. But yeah, that's the issue right now with that. Then manufacturing, for our manufacturing program, same things in place with that. Like I want to be able to set everyone up to be able to do manufacturing from our corporation minerals and PI, but yeah, it's the whole permissions issue right now. If there was a way, once we can figure out this permission system, we'll be able to have corporation sales to members as well as letting members use corporation materials for their manufacturing. Right now, we're kind of stuck with only being able to use spreadsheets, but I'd like to use it I'd like to do something in-game somehow, but right now we got to use Discord and spreadsheets as there's just no UI features in the game outside of that. Another corporation program, ship replacement. Right now, we're doing the Vexers at 14 million ISK each for the CTAs, and that's 6 million less than what's on the market. Right now, they're around 20 to 21 million. So we're selling them at a million or 2 million loss, but we're getting everyone into those. And then the plan is if you submit a kill card from you dying in a CTA fight with your Vexer, we'll replace your ship for free. So that's going to be the ship replacement program there. And same thing goes with if you have a Retriever or a Venture 3. If you have a Retriever or a Venture 3 and you lose it somewhere in Fountain and you submit a kill card, I'll sell you another one at like 50% off or something like that, because I want to keep everyone in the ships and things like that. And that's a way everyone that's using the buyback program can get their ships back if they lose it to an unfortunate gank here or there. The CTA is the call to actions. Make sure you join the TF Discord. And when you join the TF Discord, PM me, and I'll give you the permissions to view everything. And there you can familiarize yourself with how they do the CTAs, how you can join up with Terran Federation when they do these fights. Because already, since we joined, they've already had 3 or 4 CTA fights. One's going to happen today in like 3 or 4 hours. So make sure you get in TF Discord. I'll approve you after the meeting, and you can join up with them if you want. But there are skills. Check out the PvP channel in our Discord. Vindro and myself posted a lot of information about gearing yourself up properly to be able to help TF in the big fights. Another thing, one of the last things that I'm going to cover before I open it up to everyone is hauling contracts. I want to organize a good way to incentivize members to ship things down, whether it's PI that we're good on minerals and ore, but we do need to get certain planetary materials down here, as well as ship modules like strip miners, aura warp stabilizers, basic inertia stabilizers, all the high slot like missiles, drones, micro warp drives that we need for PvP. So I need to not me, but we need to have someone figure out like price points and a good way to set up hauling contracts so members that are in high sec can buy stuff when it's cheap, bring it down to the corporation hangars at our HQ, and sell it to the corporation for a profit on their end, plus the fact that we're going to be able to stock up that way. And the sooner the better for that, because once bubbles come out, hauling will be a lot more difficult. So that's something I'd like to do tonight, honestly, is set up some way to incentivize our players to be able to bring down planetary materials as well as different modules that we need to fill up our hangars down here. So yeah, hauling contracts. That's like the top of the priority order right now. Member goals. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about before we open it up to everyone. Member goals. How can you help the corporation? If you're a miner, just use the buyback program. The buyback program structured in a way that you don't have to transport all your minerals back and sell yourself. If you're not skilled into accounting, you're going to be losing 23% anyway, selling it on the market, because there's an 8% broker's fee and then a 15% sales tax. And so if you sell directly to the corporation, you only have to deal with the 4 to 8% contract tax. And so selling it to the buyback program, we buy everything between 80 to 60% of its current value on the market. I will be restricting the buyback program in a way that we're not going to buy as much of the stuff that we have a lot of. So I'm going to go through the inventory, and things that we have excess of, I'm going to limit sales for that stuff. So we only buy the stuff we need. And I might not limit it entirely, but I'll at least lower the percentages so that stuff you can sell yourself, because we're kind of getting overfilled on certain things like Noxium and Zydrine. We have too much of it right now, and so that stuff's probably better to sell yourself. And that will be one way we can save some ISK as a corporation, is not buying that as much, because we just have too much of it. If you have specialized skills, reprocessing, manufacturing, reverse engineering, make sure you fill out the spreadsheet, and we're definitely going to find ways to get you more involved here very soon. We've slowly been doing it. We have people reprocessing all of our corporation ore once they hit 60% efficiency, which is 554, and manufacturing as well. Once someone's at like that high tier of expert, we have them start manufacturing things as well. Reverse engineering. We need more reverse engineers. So if you're not sure what you want to do when it comes to manufacturing, we're already pretty much filled up with all of the basic stuff like frigates, cruisers, battle cruisers, reprocessing. We have all the reprocessing covered. We have all of the reprocessing covered except for precious ore, but we have 2 members right now that are really close to getting there. And so honestly, reprocessing is pretty much filled up as well too. It's always good to have it yourself. But if you're unsure what to do skill-wise, I would suggest looking into reverse engineering, because that's what we're short on right now. And those are the people that can make blueprints. That way we can buy blueprints from you cheaper than the market, and you'll be able to sell them to us and avoid all those market taxes. And it'll be profitable on both ends. PvP, if you're looking to help the corporation out and you're a PvP player, it's pretty much just staying in our area where most of our guys are at and protecting our miners, our PvE players. And we're going to start doing more GEK roaming fleets, corporation roaming fleets. I saw I'm going to go through everyone's comments that they put after the meeting. But basically we're going to have every day or every other day, we'll have a couple different time zones where you know that, hey, at 7 p.m. this time, we're going to be forming up for a PvP fleet. And so I want to get some more stuff like that. And we have Artusi, Vindro, and then when Yukimura comes back to our home area, we can get him involved too. PvP training as well. PvP training, I mean, I'm definitely not the person for that, but Artusi and Vindro have been doing a really good job getting people involved in PvP and kind of showing them the ropes. So the PvP training basically is going to come just by you joining the fleets and just getting a feel for it. And so you can also set up, And then Yukimura streams PvP all the time, although his is higher end PvP with all the faction ships. But yeah, for PvP training, really the only way to learn PvP is just to go do it. And so I just recommend, if you want PvP training, hop in some type of ship, see what they need, and just go and see how it's done. There's really not much training we can do in game. But yeah, watch Yuki stream from time to time and get some ideas on what it looks like, and join up with our roaming PvP fleets that they're going to be running. And that's the best way to learn PvP. Outside the game, we're always looking for people that are good with spreadsheets. If you're someone that likes working in spreadsheets, send me a message and we'll see how we can have you help us out with that. Because that's the biggest thing right now is this game, you need to have spreadsheets, and that's something we've been working on. We haven't posted the full spreadsheet yet. We've just been posting pieces here and there. But anyone that wants to help outside the game, whether it's spreadsheets, just answering new player questions in Discord and in game, and just being active in the Discord channels, we're looking for that. And members that I see doing that, we'll put you up to the Get Council, which basically has its own Discord channel, so we can talk about things at we can talk about things behind closed doors, basically, about how to run the corporation. And so anyone that wants to get more involved, just let me know. Show us your interest in the game outside of just being an active member, and we can help you get up there and get more involved with the bigger corp goals. And then Discord rules. One thing I've been noticing a lot lately is people just posting in the wrong channels. So just make sure, if you're talking about mining, post it in the mining channel. If you're talking about PvE, post it in the PvE channel. We need to keep the Discord channels pretty clean, outside of too much general chat happening in some of the more specialized channels, and that sends notifications to people that are focused on those areas, and then they have to read through a bunch of just random general chat. So make sure, if it's just random talking, use it in talk in general. If it's something more specific, please use the right Discord channels. And then we need to write up a formal set of rules, kind of like how they do it like on the official Discord. Not that we're going to be enforcing them like they do, but we do need to have some type of written rules, so that if players get out of line, or we've had a couple people get a little crazy in-game chat and on Discord chat, we need to have some type of rules so that we can say, hey, you broke this rule, and that's why we're kicking you, or that's why we're demoting you, or things like that. So if anyone has the time and wants to like copy and paste over some rules from that and then edit them up for more general use for us, I'd appreciate that, and we can post that in one of the channels. And the last thing is, if anyone's an artist out there and can draw digitally, we're probably going to be in the top 25 for this corporation video contest, and that means we're going to be able to get our own in-game corporation flag. And I'm not an artist by any means, so if anyone out there is good at artwork, please draw up some type of GEKS corporation flag. If you don't know what to draw, just message me in like the general thing, and we can have a talk about that. But basically, I just need some people to draw some ideas for our corporation flag, because I'm going to have to submit it here in about 2 or 3 weeks if we place in the top 25. Last I checked, we were placed around 16th or 17th, because it's based on views, likes, comments. And so I'm pretty sure we're going to end up around like 14th place to like 20th place. So top 20 is we get our own in-game flag. So yeah, keep that in mind and start drawing, because I'm going to need to submit it here in like 3 or 4 weeks, maybe less. Yeah, Baker, definitely. If you want to go ahead and do the rule stuff, what I would suggest to save you time is just copy and paste over onto like a Word document someone else's rules, like from the official Discord or something, and then just tweak them to make it more representative of our Discord. They don't have to be as strict, but just a general set of rules for in-game behavior and in Discord behavior that we can fall back on. So now that's it for everything I wanted to talk about. So yeah, it took 5 more minutes than I wanted to, but I have all the members topics that got brought up, and I'm going to open up I'll open up permissions so anyone that wants to talk now can talk. But I'm also going to go through like the members' topics. But that's it for the main bulk of what I wanted to talk about at the meeting from my end. The first suggestion was having a separate read-only channel where the ships available for sale and faction items and corp hangers are listed for members to purchase. And so that had 21 upvotes. So that will definitely be something we'll add. The only problem with the updating is we already have so much we're updating when it comes to like buybacks and manufacturing like ships and things like that. But I definitely agree with that we need to have some type of more organized just list. The problem just comes in when you have to update it, because going off of the Eve API can give you wrong prices a lot of the times. And the last thing we want to do is be selling stuff like at a loss or selling stuff way too expensive. And so the only concern for me is just updating it regularly, because we already have too much things we're updating regularly. But I agree, we'll definitely get some type of list together for corp things. Yes, Steve, we haven't been allocated a spot yet, but hopefully by this weekend we'll have an area for us down here. And the other thing I was saying is TF is looking to expand here pretty soon up into Cloud Ring and Outer Ring. And so that might be our move. I do want to keep us near our headquarters, especially since we're a mining corporation. But when it comes to PvE, we may get something up more in the northern area. We'll see, though. I'm definitely trying to get us something really close, whether it's Minotaur, whether it's... I can't think of the names on the top of my head, but there's a lot of close, constellations in Fountain that we could definitely claim. And so that's something I'm working on in the TF Discord with the other leadership. It's a very touchy subject, so being a very new corporation in there, I don't want to push them too hard. But at the same time, if we start having members showing up to all the CTAs, the call to actions, and helping out TF that way, we'll have a lot more leverage when it comes to getting an area. So if we do want a really good area, we need to have participation in the CTAs. Otherwise, because that's what they really care about from an alliance level, is the CTAs. Everything else is handled in-house or separate, but at the top level, they're looking at CTA numbers and who shows up and who helps out with that kind of stuff. Yeah, call to actions. Join the TF Discord if you don't know what I'm talking about, and just look through that, and you'll get a better feel for what the CTAs are. There's going to be one tonight. You would need a Vexor. Vexors are the ships they're using right now, and that's why we have 12 Vexors we just made and available down in our headquarters in Fountain, but we just need to get all the modules and rigs and stuff down there for them. Then let's see what's next. Carlos the Vulcan mentioned having some way we can have new players understand alerts that are going on and ambient threats in your area. So now with the Alliance chat, I think that's pretty much covered. Alliance chat in game will let you know where the threats are and things like that. Otherwise, this game has a high learning curve, so you kind of just need to play it and learn it for yourself. I don't think we'll put together like a guide or anything like that for players, but just playing the game down here, getting a feel for the area. And now with the Alliance chat, there's also a separate chat that covers all TF1, TF2, TF3, TF4. And so I can give out that channel's password and name so you can talk to everyone, but just know that it's going to spam your in-game message box. So we do have that available too. So now you can talk to everyone in TF, and you can talk to everyone in TF1, 2, 3, and 4 once I give out the password to the Terran channel. Have a good one, Billins. Let me grab a drink. I'm drinking some water. My voice is going. And then, let's see, Spoke Lizard. He mentioned market index to invest into based on growing resources and items. I love that idea, but I just don't have the time to put something like that together. That's just something you'd have to do on your own, market-wise. Imagine drinking water. But yeah, the market index. One thing I did think would be cool is having like a market index for corporations in the game, but there's no idea to base wealth of corporations because that's something hidden. There's no way to pull like numbers what corporations are worth, but that is a neat idea. But no, that's not something we can really do. Then we have from Reth, PvE fleets. Yeah, and this is the PvE fleets and PvP fleets having 2 recognized time, one for America, one for the EU and other time zones. That's where the bulk of our players are. We have probably, I would say, about 35% Americas, 40% Europe, and then the others would be like everything like in Asia, and we have some Australians. I'm sure there's others as well. We have some players from India. I'm sure there's things areas I'm forgetting, but we have all time zones. So yeah, I think having 2 time zones and 2 leads for each of those would be good, so that people know, hey, when I come on at 7 p.m. my time, I can join this fleet, and we can have some type of daily thing or something at least once every other day, if not daily, going on with that. I mean, we have almost 200 members now, so it shouldn't be a problem to get 5 or 10 people together at a certain time each day to do group stuff. And yeah, both time zones overlap at some point. So we'll iron out when the best times to do that are. But yeah, I like that idea to have a certain time each day that we know that, hey, that's the time we're going to do our group PvP, or that's the time we're going to do our group PvE. And we can adjust that as we see how it works out. Reading through Taryn or Taytu's post. We went over all the short and long-term goals, strategic vision. He mentioned a commission program, and that's something we can look at. The only problem with the commission program is right now with the commission program, until like this T8 boom happens, there's really not much profit to be made. And so like a 10% commission would actually be most of the profits when manufacturing things. But I like the idea of having a commission program for people to manufacture for the corporation. As well as he mentioned reaching out to other corporations outside of TF and setting up trade things. So you get some type of incentive, say like, if you can set up this trade order from a corporation that you have connections with outside of TF, that you would get like a finder's fee basically. And we could do something like that. If you can set up like a good economic trade type thing with another corporation, I will definitely be happy to give some type of bonus to the player that set that up. Ooh, a bounty hunter section. I think there is a bounty hunter section in the TF Discord. So that's one thing with our Discord is I already feel we have too many channels, and I'm trying to condense things down so we have smaller amounts of channels. But we could definitely do some type of bounty board. I know Yukimura would be all for that. That's his cup of tea right there. Maybe he could set that up. And then I think this was Shidi. He said, can we get a ship fitting channel where more experienced members can pass on their fits and knowledge? And I like that idea. So I think one channel that we will add is a ship fitting channel, but it will be read only outside of the people that like know what they're doing. So I'll have to figure out how to set up those permissions, but we'll have some type of ship fitting channel. So you know how to best set up your retriever, how to best set up your venture, how to best set up your succubus, how to set up your vexor, whatever you're using. We'll try to get something like that going. Oh, Steve, it might have been you. I copy and pasted it over here, and I think Shitty replied to it like right afterwards. So sorry if that was your comment. I'm sorry, Steve. That was Steve that proposed that idea. But yeah, I did copy and paste pretty much everything onto a Word document to just go through it easier. And then the last suggestion was from Artuzi. Corp chat versus alliance chat. Basically try to only put pertinent information into that alliance channel. There's over 1,000 people in that, and it gets very spammy at times. So make sure, try to like keep from posting too much in there. I think all the CEOs in the alliance are trying to work with their members to get people to post in there less, because it's just too much at times. So make sure to just limit that to like pings where people are at and like threats and stuff. Try to avoid just having general banter in there too much, because there's no way to moderate it in game. Thanks, Total Noob. Yeah, this meeting's done unless anyone has something they want to add or talk right now. But on my end, I've said everything I wanted to say, and anything that comes from this meeting can be talked about in this channel, the GEKS meeting channel. And I'll end the recording. I recorded all this, so I'll post it as an unlisted. I'll post it as an unlisted video on YouTube, so that way I can send the link to everyone and you can view it, but it won't actually show up on my channel. But yeah, thank you guys for all coming. And yeah, if anyone has anything they want to add, now's the time. Otherwise, I plan to have another meeting here in like a week. And outside of that, we can just have smaller, not all corporation-wide meetings with different members if you have something you want to talk to me about to get stuff set up. But yeah, thank you all for coming. We had more people show up than I thought, so I'm happy about that. And plenty of people said they couldn't make it, and I know that for the Americas, this is happening while people are at work, and for EU, it's really late at night, and then for Australia, they're deep asleep right now. So it's okay. I'll be posting a YouTube link so you can listen to it all.
Yeah, just appreciation for all the hard work you've been doing. So
thank you, Peanut. Yeah, it has been a lot of work. I wasn't expecting it to be as much work as it has been, but it's all paying off now. We almost have our whole corporation full. All the programs are running pretty smooth. So I appreciate everyone helping out too. Peanuts put a lot of work in on the spreadsheets and just general membership stuff. So yeah, I appreciate everyone that's putting in. I mean, everyone that's just active in the game, I appreciate, but I especially appreciate everyone, the overseers and the GEKS council guys that have been helping me out behind the scenes with a lot of the stuff. So thank you, everyone.
Cheers. Thank you.
But yeah, running this stuff is a lot of work, but it's fun. It's fun, and here now that we're getting into like that well-oiled machine area, we're looking good. And so, like I said before, if you wanna do more for the corporation outside of the game, or even in the game, like group content or just helping general members out in Discord, things like that, let me know. I try to keep an eye on it, although I'm not always in the game. Even if I'm in the game, I'm usually tabbed out doing something else, like in a spreadsheet or in Discord. So if you are someone that meets all those criteria I listed in the GEKS information channel, we are looking for more people to help us out on the higher end of things, especially spreadsheets and just general info, things like that, group content. So yeah.